The following program is intended to educate the public on a variety of cosmetic procedures and is paid for by the participating doctors.
I'm Vicki Liviakis. Welcome to Body Beautiful. This is a show where we talk with local professionals about the latest in cosmetic procedures and medical devices. We also take your calls live on the air. And with us today, we have hair restoration specialist Seema Hilde from New Look Institute in San Jose. And later, we'll be taking your calls, answering any questions you might have about hair loss and hair restoration. Here's the phone number, 800-440-4884. We'll also be posting the phone numbers to the guest office, so be ready to jot those down. And before we get started, any advice we give you today, obviously you're going to want to consult your own physician. You always need a second opinion on anything you're going to do with your body. All right, let's just jump right into it. Welcome back to the program, Seema. You're a a hair restoration specialist. We've talked about hair loss in women before, and I'm going to tell you, you have created a monster, because now everywhere I go, I'm looking at people's hair, and then when I go home and I look in the mirror, I'm always just counting, how many did I lose today? Am I losing my hair? Am I losing my hair? You know, it's something that is more prevalent than I even knew, until you drew attention to it.
Sure. Thank you for having me this morning again. Yes, the hair loss for women is very common. As I always mention in my show, over 40 million women are suffering from hair loss. And it's very common, but it's hard for them to detect it because it happens gradually. And again, women have diffuse hair loss. So many times I have to see them when it's a little bit too late. And that's when we work with our procedure of non-invasive. But yet, there are so many options for them available.
Well, it's very common for men to address the problem. I mean, I didn't even know it was a problem with women until really recently. It's about as common a problem in women as men?
It sure is. The men hair loss is different. They lose hair specifically they recede their hairline is receding always at younger age, and it gets more as they get older, or they have the top of their head getting totally bald. For women, it's totally different. It's very diffuse, it's all over, and suddenly they'll find out they have quite a bit of a hair loss on top. But I want to mention one thing very interesting with men and women hair loss and where we are at this time of our life. With job being so competitive in our country, I want to say that hair is just as important as looking young, having no wrinkle, using Botox, and again having a great wardrobe. And women should pay attention to their hair just as much, rather than spending hours in the morning to cover that bald spot. They should look for a hair specialist like myself to help them to look at their best, since the hair is really affect them on a social and professional level altogether.
So thinning hair really kind of is associated with aging, and certainly, you know, if you're in a competitive work environment, whether you want to hold on to your job or you're looking for a job, it's one of those things this is a very youth-oriented culture.
Yes.
And but certainly experience is valued. And so, what are you saying, that, you know, as you're aging and you want to fight that battle, maybe if you restore the hair loss, it makes you more competitive in the marketplace?
I want to say that not every woman have hair loss, but once you come up with the hair loss because of genetic, or maybe because of hormonal imbalance in your life, or any medication you're taking, and you feel like you don't have the hair that you had even 5 years ago, it's time to look into it, do preventive, come and see us for maybe surgically or non-surgically. There's so many options rather than just hiding from this problem, saying it will go away. It won't go away.
All right, we want to talk about the root of the problem, no pun intended, but I mean, is it the same for men and women? Is it hormonal primarily for women?
For women, I just want to say quite a few women that I see on a regular basis have hormonal hair loss, menopause, and many young ladies I meet, it's genetic.
Yeah, I've seen some women that are even in their 20s. We want to talk about that. Unfortunately, we got to go to a quick break, but we'll be back and we'll take some of the phone calls that are already streaming in. For more information about New Look Institute, call them 408-279-4247 or check them out at the web at newlookinstitute.com. They will provide a $150 scalp analysis for free to all viewers who mention Body Beautiful. And I want to talk about scalp analysis when we come back. We'll also be taking your phone calls and continue our chat about hair and hair restoration when we come back on Body Beautiful.
The information and advice given on this program is for general informational purposes only. For medical advice on specific treatments, medical professionals should be consulted. You should not initiate a course of treatment without consulting a qualified doctor. The opinions expressed on the program are those of the guests and not those of Cron TV, its management, employees, or advisors.
Welcome back to Body Beautiful. We are talking right now with hair restoration specialist Seema Hilde from New Look Institute in San Jose. We're also taking your calls with any questions about hair and hair restoration. Here's the phone number, 800-440-4884. We'll also be posting the number for New Look Institute during and at the end of the segment. Remember, any advice we give you today, you're certainly going to want to consult with your own healthcare professional as well. We talked about a scalp analysis that you're offering for our viewers. And I was curious about what the scalp analysis does, and can you nip hair loss in the bud before you really start seeing massive hair loss?
That's exactly what I want to reinforce in this show, that you can always prevent more hair loss if you come and see us soon enough. I have a free scalp analysis for clients that are seeing this show. And our scalp analysis is done with a very strong microscope that I look at each follicle very closely. And the follicles that are dormant and they're still alive could be stimulated with our Revive 6000. I've got a couple of machines called Revive 6000, which is a very strong, cool laser that stimulates, bring blood circulation to the top of the scalp and allows those follicles that are dormant or almost ready to die, bring them up to have more hair come out. But
so you're saying with this cool laser, you can stimulate the hair follicle, bring in blood supply, and keep it operating normally before it goes dormant, as you say, goes to sleep.
It is very good if I see them at the early stages, but not when a lady or man gets up and look at the mirror and the scalp is quite empty. By then it's a little too late. But if you have the sign, and as I said, when you get up in the morning and you shower and you comb your hair, you've got so much hair on the floor of your shower, then it's time to call a hair specialist like New Look Institute and see what you could do about it.
And yet we need to tell people that you can lose up to 100 strands of hair a day, and that's considered normal.
It is, but you always get new one. But when the new one grows very small and that also falls, then that's not right. You see, they grow to a very, very small stage and they fall. So we need to make those little hair that replace the nice, healthy one also get healthy.
Okay. We have some before and after pictures. We've got plenty of phone calls. Let's go ahead and start looking at the before and after pictures.